everybody, some of the things I learned in my 20s while making millions of dollars. Number one is taxes. They're real. They are very, very real. You have to pay them. I feel like I didn't really understand the importance of bookkeeping until 2018, which would have been 2 years into my e-commerce kind of journey. I had just made my first $1 million in revenue. But by 2020, I pretty much had it down packed. I pay my taxes on time. I do payment plans if I need to, because sometimes these tax bills can be like $300,000-$400,000, and I don't be ready to like part with that type of money. And I really didn't get good at saving until 2020. I want to stress that. So number one is just one of the biggest things I learned is really saving like 50% of your income, because 30% is going to the IRS. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Number two, vehicles. I purchased normal vehicles, and then I got a GT63 in 2021, but then I never drove. I know a lot of people go a step further. They get Lambos, they get Rolls Royces and things like that. I didn't make that jump, and thank God I didn't, because I never drive. I've literally been to around 30 countries total. So like my driving has gone down to like 10,000 miles per year. One of the biggest things I think that I'm changing in 2023 is kind of like selling all my cars because I'm never home, and I have no interest in sitting home because I don't have any children. So at this point in my career and in my life, I travel like sometimes like 2 countries, 3 countries a month. So it doesn't work for my lifestyle. So when you're thinking about purchasing a vehicle and you're making money, ask yourself, is this something I'm gonna actually be home to enjoy? Like, kind of look at your lifestyle and really make that decision. Another thing is purchasing a townhome or a large home, anything like 3-4 bedrooms with no children and no marriage. Did the townhouse, stupidest decision I ever made. I thank God I rented it, but now that I'm in a buying age at 28 years old, and I'm buying properties, I would say I buy to rent them out. I don't buy where I'm gonna live yet, and I don't buy because my primary living space, I'm not gonna do a starter home. I know a lot of people get a starter home and then they move to their dream home. My first home, primary living, is going to be my dream home. So for me, like, it makes sense to rent in a building nearby my family or my friends so they can check on my pets and things like that, because I'm just moving around way too much to maintain a home. So I think I'm gonna buy like a house to rent out to families in 2023. It just really depends where the market is, but I'm heavy on do not buy a house or a townhouse or any type of like stuck living if you don't have like a husband and kids. Like, it just doesn't really work for like the lifestyle like that I'm living, you know. Just really understanding that money means options. I think that's the biggest thing that I learned in my 20s, is that money just means more options, and I like to have as many options as I can. Another thing that I learned, wow, my light just went out. Oh, it's back on. Another thing that I learned was pet buying. So I bought pets when I made my first 6 figures. I have 2 cats. I love them to death, but I'm never ever home. So it doesn't really make sense anymore. 2023, they're probably going to my boyfriend's mother and staying there because I'm just not home. Like, I'm traveling, my boyfriend travels with me. We're really like seeing the world for everything that it has to offer right now, and we're loving that. Like, cars, primary living, pets just doesn't fit for my lifestyle, like where I'm at now. I think in 2-3 years it will. Primary home, cats, cars, everything, whatever the case, makes sense. But when you're constantly moving around, it just doesn't make sense. I think that you really need to look at your lifestyle before you make purchases, because cars and pets, why did I do that? Like, that was probably the dumbest stuff that I did. Other than that, like jewelry and things like that, I probably will never buy a bust down watch. I had a bust down watch and broke it in a fight like 2 years ago, and I just never purchased another watch. And a lot of people always ask me why I don't have a watch. It's because honestly, the next watch I'm going to purchase is going to be a plain Jane Richard Mille. That's just what I want. It holds value, and it's something I can get rid of easily. As far as like jewelry, like diamonds, I would never buy a bust down watch. It just doesn't hold any value. Diamonds don't really hold value, like, especially if they're not GIA certified. So like my chains and things like that, I think I have 4 chains, and I have tons and tons of bracelets. I have tons of diamonds. I'm not even gonna lie there. But as far as like the watch aspect, like $50,000 to $100,000 for a diamond bust down watch doesn't make sense for me. My boyfriend who's a rapper, it makes sense, but it just doesn't make sense for me. I'm pretty much done with the jewelry outside of the watch that I probably will purchase for my 29th birthday, to be honest with you. But I just don't think that you should be buying diamond watches. Like, I don't think that that's a good idea, in my opinion. Other than that, mistakes and just things that I learned is just, you know, save your money, put your money in places that you can make 4 to 7%, you know, yearly gains, and live off of your passive income, not your earned income. That's a big thing that I'm changing in 2023, is really building up my passive revenue and not using any of my earned income to live, just using my earned income to create passive income and then living off of the passive income. Those are just the biggest things I feel like I've learned in 2020s. In my 20s, you know, I'm exiting my 20s, I'm 28, I have a great relationship, and you know, we're just kind of like making our plans to buy a condo in Manhattan, number one, and a primary living in Florida, and kind of, you know, settling down in 2 years. Other than that, you can very well expect me to be probably 75 countries strong in the next 2 years, seeing the whole world for everything that it is, including Antarctica. So that's what works for my lifestyle. Those are the things that I've learned. You know, the cars, diamond jewelry, and pets, not really the best idea, but buying real estate that works for your lifestyle, understanding property management for real estate, and I don't really do wholesaling, fix and flips. I literally buy minor cosmetic damages on homes, fix those up for less than 5 bands, and put Section 8 tenants in them, and have property management manage them, and only do, if you can, 3, 5, 10-year leases on Section 8, and don't have a high turnover, and you can live passively. But those are the things that I've learned, and the advice, I guess, that I would speak on, that I feel knowledgeable about. But the biggest thing is definitely save for your taxes, hire a bookkeeper on top of an accountant, and keep your books managed. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys.